if I was like, look, to me, and I genuinely believe that 70% of success is meditate, work on your past traumas, don't drink alcohol, as we're having some whiskey, but like, don't drink alcohol, don't smoke pot. I don't care how creative you are, and if you're someone who does well on weed, I don't give a shit. No, you're not. And the other one, get 9 hours of sleep a day. Like if you just do those things, like bro, I know this sounds ridiculous, but you're honestly, and you do it consistently, you're honestly 70% of the way there. And all you need is some sort of vehicle, right? All you need is some sort of like here's the thing, I'm really not the hardest worker. I mean, I will say, like, especially, from 2014 to like 2018, I was a machine, right? But these days, I'm really not the hardest working. It's just, you have to put a lot of hard work in, then you have to find the right track in life. And by the way, everyone wants to talk about business and this and that. I have people in my company, I have many, many, many people in my company who make far more than any business owner will, or, any CEO will, right? These are people who make hundreds of thousands a year, because the right track could just be aligning with the right company and every year showing more and more value. So it doesn't necessarily need, not everyone needs to, do what I did and drop out of school and build a business, but just aligning on the right track. Because you could have someone who's incredible, but they're part of a company where there is no room for growth. And, the organization is very archaic and they don't see the value this person is providing. Whereas if they join a startup, or they join something that sort of has that startup, a bootstrap mentality to it, then they can actually get more ownership. So, anyways, the reason I say all this stuff is because, I would love to, my message, I'd love to, on the forefront, just be like, yeah, all you do is just meditate and, do some trauma release work and all, but people don't care about that. People care about like, people care about like all the fancy stuff around, and like all the wealth and the money and the blah, blah, and the wealth, money, the girls, like all this stuff is the stuff that's actually like, just gets so old so quick, and it's not the fun stuff, or the fulfilling stuff. But yeah, I guess that's what people want to see. So I like to draw them in with that, or like, even if you look at my titles, whatever, how I made $10 million in 2021. And then it's like, you look at that and you're like, oh, that's your 7 life lessons, blah, blah, something like that. And then it's like a 56-minute video where I'm talking about like just some very, very nuanced stuff. So unfortunately, as much as I'd like to just have very nuanced titles and a nuanced approach, sometimes you gotta hook people in. And probably even if people look at some of your titles on YouTube, right? It's very abrasive even, right? Like, obviously, dude, I adore your content, but like, someone might look at it and be like, just very repulsed by it. But then you listen to it and you're like, okay, there's a real message coming across here. So yeah, I mean, as I said, I don't blame you for, if I was in your situation, I'd be like, this guy looks like such a fat man. So don't worry about it.
It's on the same level, man. So I think you have went through the process of creating content and trying to get people into your funnel, and you do kind of realize that those clickbaity titles where the people want to see pussy, it's pretty much just that. Like they want pussy, they want easy money, they want like the clickbait thing. What's going to help them the most is the fundamentals. And so the weird like funnel that I have with my videos is kind of like bait them in with a video about getting girls, and halfway through be like, oh yeah, by the way, you're not getting girls because your mental health is trash right now. Like, you wouldn't want to be around yourself right now. Why would a girl want to be around you?
Yeah.
But if you make a video on mental health, like, they're not going to click on it because they're horny as fuck. They think that their problems is just a symptom of lacking the fundamentals. And that's why I appreciate your content and the monk mode video that really like brought you onto my radar. Because here's like a 40-minute video. You don't see that like much these days. It's all, like the type of shit I do, just like 3 minutes, buggy shit and everything. But here's a 40-minute video of a guy just purely saying, okay, here's the fundamentals. None of this like, oh, here's how to make, like, the titles start with that, but it's so nice that like that's the start of the funnel to attract the guys who actually need the fundamentals more. So I think you're on the right path there. But let's say right now that if there's a young guy watching this who was in my position a few years ago, who straight away is getting like negative thoughts because it's like, oh, like he's a rich guy, he's wearing an expensive watch, and he's just like gave Hamza like an expensive thing, and like he must be greedy, he must be shy. That perception that you can have when you have a level of insecurity for the wealthy because you haven't really achieved that yet. Is there anything you want?
Yeah, I mean, basically, look, all I'd say is like, so I am you just 8 years on. Right, like people look at my age and they're like, I just turned 22, and they're like, oh, this is crazy. I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, but also 8 years ago I started reading a book a week, right? So it's like, I don't look at my age, I look at how long have you been doing something, right?
Mm.
So you gotta look at how long have I been doing something. Before I even had, that business, the first business that I ever started 5.5 years ago, I was reading a book a week. I was going to gym pretty much 6 times a week, reading a book a week, going to gym 6 times a week, meditating anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes a day. I don't even do that now. I probably know I should do. So I was working on me. And that's why when the right opportunity came about, and the business that I started, it's not very, like, having a marketing agency is about as sexy as having an accounting firm. Like, it's not like, I don't know, there's nothing like sexy about it, but it's a service-based business. And once again, it's like, even within the agency world, there's people who are slaves to their business and there are people who do it right. So whatever business, like, I don't take pride in being a hard worker. I take pride in being very smart and understanding leverage. And then I throw in hard work on top of that. And that's why I am where I am today. So as I said, the reason or the thing that I would say to someone who's looking at me is like, do what I did 8 years ago, which is like the fundamentals, and do what you did 3 years ago, and that's why you're here today. And by the way, like, it would be very interesting if we were sat here and I was like 8 years into self-development, business, this, that, and we had you at 8 years, right? Because I guarantee if probably you at 8 years sat here with me at 8 years, bro, you'd probably be much farther ahead than I am, right? So I don't look at it as like age. I look at it as like, how long have you been doing this stuff? So yeah, I mean, for like, it's a long road, and this is why, like, I love a lot of the, one of my passions is kind of like, I don't know the way to describe, like, the whole manosphere world, because it's like, as a man, you're not shit in this world. You are not fucking anything, and no one will give you an ounce of fucking pity. You're here, and you gotta make it on your own, right? And as a man, you just go brick by brick by brick by brick, year on year on year, and then you look back and you've accomplished something. But yeah, you can either just keep circle jerking and stay in that loop for years and years, but at some point you gotta face the sobering reality that, like, you as a man have been brought into this world, and you gotta create your own value.
That's a somewhat hard to swallow, like, fundamental truth of the manosphere and the red pill, because we've been sold the idea of equality, and for some reason a lot of us have concluded that men and women are okay, we're exactly the same because it's politically correct. And anyone who's in the sort of red pill sphere will know there's major differences, especially in terms of sexual value. And so women generally just get theirs inherently through puberty. It's like they just become like beautiful, and there isn't necessarily much work that they have to do to increase that value. Whereas for a man, unless you're just born with the absolute like top tier genetics and stuff, fair enough. But apart from that, I think the quote, men have to build their value, is so incredibly true.